My wife has suddenly gotten interested again, so I'm not sure how to deal with that because I've basically had gotten to the point where I was pretty ready to move on and, not move on and go date somebody else, just not worry too much about trying to figure out her for a while. It's really interesting how they seem to have some sort of, I don't think I did much different. It was just a mindset change, but they seem to somehow notice.
Yeah, almost every time I would say. It almost feels like giving up a bit for your own self. It's like giving up that this dream is going to happen, giving up a bit, but not stopping the daily activities of this work, giving up the old mindset, giving up the desire or the hope, which sounds sad and it feels sad for a while. It's kind of like giving up wanting mommy to approve of you. There's a period of fasting from that. And yeah, it helps them actually have desire, not feel shoved away. So, this whole I'm not giving up, she's asking questions, she's starting conversation. What was crossing your mind when she was talking with you, or how do you perceive that now?
Maybe there was a little bit of a mindset change over the past month or so where I'm just less concerned about saving the relationship altogether. That's not really my primary focus anymore. It has been for the last, well, maybe 2 years. It's just trying to figure that out. And, at the same time, trying to do the right things for myself, but also keeping that desire to find a way back to that relationship as one of my top priorities. And I think maybe it's just now moved down the list to not my top priority anymore. I still think I'd like that to happen, but maybe not. Maybe I wouldn't like that to happen. And so I'm just making some space for the option that maybe I prefer something else.
Yeah, well, that's something that you and I've talked about a lot. Do you need some space to think about, do you want this or not? And you've been trying so much, you've been putting so much effort that doesn't seem to be reciprocated, at least not very much. If she doesn't want to be here, what am I doing?
Yeah, and she's as upset about the way things went as anybody, maybe more so. My potentially nice guy and non masculine and all those bad habits that a lot of us do kind of killed the passion in her. So I screwed it up. She has her fair share of responsibility in screwing it all up too. But I think maybe I felt like I had a responsibility, since bore a lot of the responsibility for screwing it up, to fix my behaviors, not just for her, but it needs to be fixed. And I feel like maybe I've done a lot of that. I don't know if we're ever done doing that, but it sucks because I think she would like to feel differently than she does and be engaged and all that, but she just doesn't. I can't do anything about that. I can only just deal with the circumstances the way they are.
You're cultivating the garden for the potential for her to rekindle desire within her own self. You can't ignite it directly, but the man you're being, like badass man that you're being, and the skills you're having, so grounded, living from your heart, meaning not thinking ahead, not letting your ego get in the way, but enjoying the present moment. Now, I'd be curious, once you move, once you're ready, to see how much interest she shows you and to invite her over. If she doesn't want to come over, fine, and you let it go, and maybe you'll make a different decision on how much energy you want to put into inviting her over, literally and metaphorically, in the near future. But right now, you don't have to figure that out. There's a misconception that this work doesn't get harder and harder, it gets easier and easier as you get better at it. It's more of an allowing her to come to you, the standing up for yourself without anger. There doesn't need to be pride in it eventually. It's just, this is the man that you are.